All right, let's talk about plinking. So with plinking, you're going to end up using a ranged weapon and then sword attacking immediately after. And this allows us to effectively stack on double the damage with using the pistol, right? Because the pistol deals 1 damage, the sword deals 1 damage. Which is nice for being able to clear out enemies. There's a lot of enemies that have like even numbers of health. So either 2 health or 4 health or 6 health. And so using plinking is going to be very, very useful to take them down. The other thing to note is that every time you hit with a sword attack, you will end up getting back 1 ammo. So with the pistol, it's the most ammo efficient form of plinking because we use 1 ammo to fire a pistol shot, and we get 1 ammo back each time you hit an enemy with a sword attack. Great. So with the shotgun, we can also end up plinking as well, which is nice. And this is going to be our main way that we're going to burst down bosses. However, the shotgun actually has a cooldown associated with it. So we can actually end up bypassing this cooldown period by swapping to the pistol or swapping to whatever your second weapon is, and then swapping back to the shotgun, right? And that allows us to fire the shotgun at a faster rate. And then with a plink, each time, right, it'll look something like that. And that is going to be our main way that we are going to defeat all the bosses in this speedrun. Cool. So shotgun plinking itself is actually quite difficult to do quickly, because there's a lot of button presses in a short period of time. So to be able to get really proficient at shotgun plinking, so you're not sort of tripping over your fingers as you go into boss fights, I suggest sort of taking a few minutes each day for like a few days and practicing in 3 sort of phases. And this is going to be a drill that I use for warm-ups usually every single day before I start streaming. The first phase of the drill is that you're going to do like 5 to 10 iterations, let's just say 5 for now, of practicing punching, swapping your weapon twice. So swap, swap, pause, swap, swap, pause, swap, swap, pause, swap, swap, pause. And then do that sequence of 4 swaps 5 times through. And this is going to be useful for shotgun plinking because we need to burst twice in order to get back to the shotgun. If you accidentally only do it once or you do it 3 times, you'll end up going to the wrong weapon. So it's important that you just practice first, pause, swap, swap, pause, swap, swap, pause. And make sure you throw in big pauses in between each of these to really internalize that swap. Then the second phase, after you do 5 sets of 4 weapon swaps with pauses in between each of them, is to work in a shotgun plink in between each of those and put a pause in between each of these. So go shotgun plink, pause, swap, swap, pause, shotgun plink, pause, swap, swap, pause, right? And you want to really make sure, just like with the swap swap, you want to make sure the shotgun shot into the sword attack are very close together. You want to make sure those are very, very close together. Really emphasize how quickly you're going from the shotgun shot into the sword attack. If you try doing them at the same time, it just won't work. And I've conditioned myself so much that it's hard to intentionally fail it. So just make sure that you're bursting the speed in between each of them and emphasize the pause, right? So go ahead and do that like 5 times through again, right? So just go through your entire ammo belt and then refill on a waypoint, right? So shotgun plink, pause, swap, swap, pause, shotgun plink, pause, swap, swap, pause, shotgun plink, right? And so that is the second phase. And so then after you do 5 sets of going through your ammo belts completely through, the final phase is to put it all together. And so the actual rhythm for this is going to be weapon swap, shotgun plink, pause, weapon swap, shotgun plink, pause. All right? But you want to make sure that you do this bursting it through as quickly as possible. So it's going to look like this. Pause. Pause. And that is the rhythm that I use when I shotgun plink against bosses. And it's kind of interesting, right? You'd think that you do plink and then weapon swap at the end of the plink, but you don't actually want to do that. You want to weapon swap before the plink, because when you hit bosses, there can be lag frames that end up causing you to drop inputs. So if you want to get really proficient at shotgun plinking, this is the method of how I trained myself to do it, and I highly suggest doing it. Just doing it for a few minutes, like each day, like doing each of the phases, right? Like 5 minutes a day for like 2 to 3 days, and you shouldn't, I imagine that you will be just as proficient as me with shotgun plinks. Cool. All right, cheers.